Hi, I'm Amanda Harvey from ChoosingLifeMyWay.com, and today I'd like to share with you 10 ways to be happy. The very first way, number one, is to pay attention to the things that are good in your life, rather than looking at the things that you don't like. Now, this is something that a lot of us have a great tendency not to do. We tend to notice always the things that we don't like, and we don't take the time to stop and look around us and see how many amazing and wonderful and beautiful and fabulous things are right around us. Even when our lives are not perfect, there are always so many good things around if we just stop and pay attention to them. Looking at that single black cloud in an otherwise clear blue sky is just a habit. It's not a good habit, but the good news is that habits can be changed by paying attention to the fact that we have a habit that isn't making us happy and that we would like to create a new and better habit. If you can even spend 1 minute in the morning just enjoying the smell of that freshly brewing coffee, instead of worrying about how terrible the traffic is going to be when you drive to work, you've opened a window for happiness to come in. And the more that you can do that throughout the day, the more and more happy moments you're going to experience. And the stronger the habit will be of enjoying what's good and being happy with what you have and finding happiness in any situation that you encounter. So that's number one, and moving on to number two is basically the flip side of that, which is to pay as little attention as possible to the areas of your life that you're not happy with. We all have areas of our lives that are not exactly the way that we would like them to be. And the trick to minimizing the discomfort and the unhappiness that that can cause if we dwell on those areas is to just do what we really need to do and then take our focus off that area and put it back onto something that makes us feel good. Now, with a lot of things that people experience that don't make them happy, so say for example, if you're worried about your finances, which is something that is a big issue for many, many people. If you are in that situation, you obviously have to give a certain amount of attention to that in order to figure out, okay, how am I going to pay the bills for this month? What practical steps and actions do I need to take to keep my head above water? Do that, and then decide that you are going to stop thinking about that area of your life and put your focus onto something that does make you feel good, whether that's a hobby or a friendship, a relationship, your children, whatever it doesn't matter, but something that you love and that you enjoy and that makes you feel happy is where you need to really be putting the majority of your attention. Next, number three, is make doing things as easy as you can and as fun as you can. All of us have things in our lives that we don't love doing. We don't spend every minute of every day doing our favorite activities. But when you're doing things that you don't really love doing, you can always find a way to make it more fun, more rewarding, more enjoyable, or to get something out of it by using it as a time when you can focus part of your attention, part of your energy onto something that you do love. So say, for example, you don't really enjoy driving to work, you find that quite tedious. Well, you can use that time to listen to your favorite songs, or to listen to language tapes and to brush up on your Spanish, or to listen to some inspiring and uplifting audios that can help you to feel fantastic and get to work feeling great and not drained. Moving on to number four, stop trying to be perfect or to do everything perfectly. It's impossible, and it leads us to being hard on ourselves and never feeling like we've done enough or never feeling like we're good enough. And that is not a recipe for being happy at all. So if you can start to accept the fact that you are trying your best and you are doing enough and that your best is good enough and that it's never going to be perfect and that nobody is ever going to get it perfect, but that you are doing well, you are doing okay. You can start to take some of that pressure off, and you can start to actually enjoy your efforts and your life. Number 5 is to take time to figure out what you really want in your life. This is so important, and it's something that a lot of people don't do. There are so many people who, when you ask them, what do you want in your life? If time was no object, money was no object, you could have anything, do anything, go anywhere, what would that be for you? And they don't know because they've spent more time thinking about what is going on in their lives that they don't like, and they haven't taken the time to think of what do I want? What do I want to experience and do and be and have? So that is really important, because if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? Take the time to set some broad goals for yourself. And I say broad goals because in some areas, like for example, maybe with your work, you might not know exactly what kind of job you want and what title that job might have. But what you can do is to think about what are the actual elements and the essence of that job that you want. So you might say, well, I want to work from home, and I want a flexible schedule, and I want most of my working time to involve interacting with other people. And I would like the majority of my time to focus on the tasks of reading, writing, and speaking. Now that gives you a very clear, broad goal and lets you know what you want without feeling the pressure of having to figure out exactly where and what that job is going to fit into. That way, you know where you're headed, you know where you want to be, and that can give you a clear path and a clear purpose, which is so important to a happy life. Feeling directionless is not a good recipe for happiness. We need direction. Once you've done that, you can move on to step 6, which is to take time to visualize and to picture what your life is going to be like when you're doing that job that you've envisaged, or when you have that relationship that you've decided that you want, or when you're living in that home that you want, you're traveling the world, whatever it is that you've decided you want to experience in your life. Put yourself in that picture and think about how wonderful your life is going to be when you're actually doing that. The more real, the more vivid, and the more detailed you can make it, the better. You can actually experience it in your mind before the reality actually comes about. And experiencing the emotions that you're going to feel, how excited and how fulfilled and how passionate and how joyful and how happy you're going to be when you're doing these things and living this life, gives you an amazing tool for being happy right now. You can feel those feelings right now. And that also gives a very, very powerful boost to your motivation for actually being able to go out and to create that in your future reality as well. Number 7 is to prioritize in your daily life doing more of the things that are important to you, that you like, and that you want in your life. Now there's 2 basic aspects to doing this, and one is to spend time doing things that are moving you in the direction of where you want to be with your broad goals. So for example, if you've made that choice that you want to have a job in your life that allows you all of the freedom of working from home and having a flexible schedule and communicating with people on a daily basis and writing and speaking and reading, then take time every day to do more of that. You don't have to have the job yet to actually be doing the things that your job is going to provide for you. Speak to people about what you're interested in. Write about what you're interested in. Get on the internet and read about people that are doing the kind of work that you want to do. This can make you feel great and move you towards your goal. And the other aspect to making it a priority in your life, making it important and knowing that it's important, and being able to put aside those tasks, those never-ending tasks that are always going to be there, and sometimes we feel are more important than doing the things that we really want to do. but they really aren't. Get out and have some fun. Think about what you really enjoy doing, whether it's going for a bike ride, whether it's running barefoot in the park, whether it's going and dangling your legs in the stream, whether it's visiting a friend, whether it's going out dancing. Make time to have some fun. It's a fantastic way to be happy. The next step, number 8, is to pay attention to the feelings that you're having and to decide whether any negative feelings that you're experiencing are based on something that has just happened, which is a circumstantial type of emotion, or whether you have negative feelings that you experience on an ongoing basis, and we can call those habitual emotions. And once you can distinguish where your feelings are coming from, these negative feelings that are getting in the road of you experiencing your happiness, then you can figure out what to do with those feelings. So point number 9, the 9th way to be happy, is that you need to be able to deal with your feelings. If they are genuine feelings that are resulting from something that has just happened to you, so for example, if you've lost your job or broken up with your partner or something has happened that you're going to have a very normal, natural, emotional reaction to, it's very important to allow yourself to really feel those emotions and not to just try and go from where you are to turning on the happy thoughts, because all that's going to do is keep those emotions bottled up. When you have these kind of emotions, it's very important to take time to process those emotions, to vent them, and to eventually be able to release them, because that then is creating a space where you are free and clear to allow the happiness to come back in again. However, point number 10 is if your emotions, your negative emotions, are a habit, are something that you feel on a regular basis often, then there's a different way to go about transforming those and allowing yourself to then be able to focus on being happy. So you might notice that you tend to feel very frustrated quite often. And maybe when you think about it a little bit more, you'll realize that these feelings of frustration are coming from a thought or a belief. A belief is basically just a thought that we think often enough that it becomes like truth to us. And perhaps your thought is, nothing ever goes the way I plan. That can result in really continuous habitual frustration. And the way that you can go about transforming that is to replace that thought and to change it, to move it in the direction of being more positive about what you're telling yourself. So you could try starting from something like, well, I know everybody has frustrations in their lives. I know everybody has hiccups in their plans. And when I think about it, I realize that more of my plans do go the way I want than the ones that don't go the way I want. And if I look at my life, there's definitely more that's going the way I want it to than the stuff that's going the way I don't want it to. So even when things don't work out the way I plan, I'm realizing now that there's a lot that I can learn and gain from these experiences. So it's not that I'm missing out on anything or that any of these situations are a failure. It's just that it's turning out differently than I expected, but I can handle that. I am handling that. And I know that I'm learning more and more to look for what's good or what's positive about a situation. And as a result, I'm allowing myself to be happier and happier more of the time, every day. Now that is starting to transform something that creates frustration into something that can create optimism and upbeat feelings and put you right on the path to being happy. I hope you've enjoyed these 10 ways to be happy, and if you would like to learn more about dealing with emotions, processing emotions, different aspects of happiness, different aspects of creating the life that you want to live and living your very best life, then please visit me at choosinglifemyway.com. I'm Amanda Harvey, and have a wonderful day.